Delphine, are you there? Where are you calling in from tonight?
Hi, I'm from Quebec, Canada. So English is not my first language.
You are from the French part of Canada.
Yep.
I'm on the other side of your country right now. I'm on the West Coast. I'm in Vancouver. One of my, I have a lot of people on that are on the show that are Canadian. I have a couple that are French Canadian too. My friend Charlie is from New Brunswick. And he speaks both. He speaks fluent French, fluent English, and he'll have like conversations in French with some of our like crew members at times, and I have no idea what they're saying. They're having these little secret conversations, and I'm super jealous because I'm like, it feels like some secret language that I'm not privy to. But that's cool. I'm very not bilingual. I am very just English and maybe a little bit of sarcasm, and that's pretty much that's all I can do as far as linguistics go. So kudos to you for being able to speak more than one language.
Thanks.
And Delphine, yeah, go ahead. What's your question there for Jeremy?
What was the strangest thing you've been asked to do in an audition, or any funny stories?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've had any like strange things in an audition. I mean, usually you kind of know more or less what you're going to be doing before you get there, because whatever you're auditioning with is usually you have like the sides beforehand, keeps you memorize the lines, and you kind of know what scenes that you're going to have going in. I guess there's been like, sometimes you'll get something that's like, it's not strange to ask, like if you were shooting it, it wouldn't be that weird, but like there's certain scenes that are weird to do when you're auditioning, and there's like just you, another person in like a random room, like this, you have to like make believe like a lot of stuff in like a random office room that just doesn't feel, it just feels weird. So anything where it's like, anything where there's like a monster attacking you, or you're like running, or like, anything like that, where you're like just sitting in a random office room and they're like, okay, a monster's attacking you, and you're like, ah, like that's always like an awkward, it's an awkward thing to do in an audition. It's like, if you're on set, like that's one thing, but when it's like just you in like this very docile, sterile office building, you're like, okay, and you just feel so dumb too, because nothing happening and you're just doing like this, you look ridiculous. So that type of stuff is always weird in auditions. This isn't a strange thing, but I think there's a couple times where I've just had like weird auditions. This is a good one. So most auditions are fine; they're great. Most casting people are totally fine. Nothing out of the ordinary. I think the worst, I won't name names, but I think the worst audition I've ever had, it was for a Disney Channel show years ago. I don't think it even ever got made. It was never went to series, but I went in for this casting office, and the casting lady was just in a bad mood from the second I walked in the door. I walked in, she was like, please shut the door. And I was like, okay. So shut the door. And she was like, all right, so you ready? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, we're just going to start the first scene. And I'm like, okay. So we start the first scene, and I'm about, I don't know, maybe 2 lines in, and she goes, okay, just stop. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do in these 2 lines? She was like, you have this, your voice is very annoying. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay. In my head, I was thinking like, I mostly do, like, I do a lot of voiceover. This is for an on-camera project, but I'm like, I'm literally like the main character of like the biggest animated show in the world. So it kind of made me laugh a little bit. But yeah, I didn't know what to say. I was so dumbfounded. She's like, your voice is really annoying me. Like, you have this kind of sing-songy nature or whatever to your voice. Just stop doing that. And in my head, I'm thinking like, just stop doing my literal natural voice. Okay. She was like, can you just do something else? I'm like, sure. And so I just like restarted the scene and just tried to not do whatever my voice was, basically. And then, as you'd imagine, it just kind of, we got to the scene and that was kind of it. She was like, okay, thank you for coming in. And I was like, all right. I don't think I ever went back to that casting office ever again. I made it a point. I was like, I'm not going to go in there again. That was a pretty bad experience. It's one of those things where somebody else probably would have been very self-conscious and gotten like very, like emotional over hearing that or something. But to me, it kind of made me laugh. I was just like, it was so weird. It was such a weird, it was such a weird thing to say. But yeah, that was probably one of the, probably the worst audition I've ever had. And also kind of the most funny audition I've ever had. So yeah, fun story.
And Delphine, yourself, have you done any auditions or have you done any acting yourself?
I've done one audition for a fashion show.
Wow, awesome! How did that go? What is that like? A fashion show?
It was for Enfant Soleil. It's to get funds for children, and I only went there for moral support for my friend. So
Cool.
I went in. I didn't have any good shoes. I didn't have any good outfit. I was just in my winter clothes. Did the walk, and they asked me, why am I here? I'm like, I don't know.
I'm sure you slayed it in your winter clothing. They're like, that's the new trend, winter clothes. We love it. So good. It's gorgeous.
And I did not get it.
You didn't get it. Well, you know what? That's you didn't. You weren't even trying to get it. You had a good time. That's all. That's pretty fearless, though. I don't think I could go into a random fashion show audition. I'd be too scared to do that. That's awesome.
And then you can taking a leaf out of Jeremy's book. It was funny. You got to laugh at it.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. You laugh about it and you take it as an experience to move forward.
Exactly. It's a great story. Sometimes certain things are just great stories. And that's all you want anyway.
Well, thank you, Delphine. Thank you very much for jumping on and saying hello to Jeremy. So it's great to have you on. So Jeremy, just a real quick one. That's a skill that you've got, right? To go through those auditions and not take all of them to heart. That's the skill of what makes you good at what you are and how you've got longevity in the industry, right?
100%. And it's something that you need. I mean, anyone really who is going to be in anything that's arts or entertainment, you have to have a thick skin to be able to kind of handle that. I mean, if you really think about it, actors, musicians, everybody in that, especially actors, you're going on like a lot of auditions. You're like probably doing an audition, usually, like on a weekly basis, or at least, a substantial amount every single year. And it's like kind of getting used to basically constant rejection, kind of in a certain way. And but the thing you have to realize though is a lot of times, I mean, that was a fluke story. I've gone on like hundreds of auditions, and most of them are great, and there's never anything like that. But a lot of times auditioning, there's so many reasons why you won't get something. It could be you look too much like another person's already cast, or you don't look enough like someone they need, or you're too tall, or you're too short, whatever. It's a lot of times it's not even you personally necessarily. There's like other factors to not getting something, and so you can't take that to heart in that way, and you just got to be confident in what you're doing and just let it, roll off your shoulder. It's and so it's an industry where you got to have thick skin. You got to have that kind of inner peace and calm to know that you're going to get the projects you're going to get, and you're not going to get the ones you're not supposed to get. And everything else is a great story, or it's just practice for when you get the real thing. And you need to learn that early on, because otherwise, if you don't, it's going to tear you up. I know a lot of people that are very sensitive, that cannot handle it. They just can't handle like, oh, I think I did this wrong, or I think it might have been this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, once I'm done with the audition, it's kind of in one ear, out the other, and it's like moving on to the next thing. And then if you get a call back or you get brought back, it's like, oh, great, awesome. But I never expect to get anything. So then when I do book something, I'm very just excited and happy that I did, And
you just don't know the person who's doing the casting on the other side. Like, they could have got a bad phone call 2 minutes before you walked in. They could have stubbed their toe. They could be having a bad day. You just don't know.
You never know. You never know what the situation is. So it's better not to assume, and it's better just to move on and maybe laugh at it a little bit. If you get a situation like that, definitely laugh at it and take the comedy out of it. But for the rest of them, where you just never hear back anything, it's just you just keep moving, you just keep working. That's it.